I'm so lit and fleet, pretty fucking gone, pretty fucking gone.
Hello everyone, I think we are back after not a long enough break. I think it's been a small break for a few days where I was busy with other work, but we started off our last series and our last series of conversations around vibe coding with Cursor. We were looking at Cursor code bases, trying to build and improve our website to essentially host a new blog around our roasting AI agent series that we did before this in our previous live stream. So we talked about within this blog post on my website, we talked about our startups that we reviewed, what were our takeaways, what did we learn about the Indian ecosystem around agentic AI startups, and how are they solving for problems, right, in this series. So I've linked with videos that you can watch here and additional clips and references to information that you can learn and know more about the Indian agentic AI startup space, covering startups like Yellow AI, Sarvam, which is pretty popular now, Squad Stack, which was one of our other S tier startups that we made for looking at our Indian agentic AI startup landscape. So we built this mostly behind the scenes. This dashboard that you're seeing, we reviewed and looked at almost 100 plus startups across India in the agentic AI space and looking at what do they do, what do they offer, and things like that, and ended up requesting Gemini to build a comprehensive dashboard listing all of these details for me and providing all of these startups with context, with a brief description, what industry they cater to, what details they have in terms of their website and other social references, along with some AI analysis on what does the startup do, how do they earn money, and so on and so forth. And it eventually, based on all of this information, gave it a relevance score for each startup that it had. So what we are trying to build now is essentially, given this is currently part of a Gemini workspace and Gemini itself, what we will now try to do and get started off with essentially using Cursor and the abilities of this code generated by Gemini and embed it within our website as a new section called projects. And within those projects, any sort of projects we build as part of these live streams will be hosted there. So people after the fact of the live stream even can come here, look at the projects we've built as part of the live streams and look at them and possibly engage with them essentially, right? So today that's our goal. That's what I've listed as our to do, where we look at creating a new project section listing the top Indian agentic AI startups and essentially this dashboard, making it available and live for all users from within our application and our website under under a project section. So we'll get started with that. I'll go back to Cursor now. What I've done before the stream itself, this is our previous prompts that we have done in the last live stream around agentic AI startups. I will just install and let it update to the latest version of Cursor. But once that's done, we'll start out prompting. And what I've done is downloaded this code base, which is essentially a single HTML file with all of the details listed under it, where you have the startup data that it has generated, buttons and other JavaScript functions calling and analyzing, right? And I think it does make an API call, I believe, to this thing called, I mean, to Gemini essentially, where it is analyzing the following prompts and identifying trends, problems, and gives it as part of the AI analysis for us. But given all of this information, I've already downloaded this HTML file, put this in our static folder within our website. But what we'll start by doing is let's close this, let's tag the file within Cursor. Let me also increase the text size here so it's visible to you guys. What we'll do is reference static. Wait, how do I reference files? Yeah, exactly. And what we will start doing now is, let's get rid of this, is using Whisper. So Whisper is our tool of choice when it comes to dictation. And the reason why I use Whisper a lot is a lot of the times I'm working with these agentic AI and sort of building projects and mini versions of app very quickly and sort of within a few minutes, so on and so forth, and trying to get my idea into something workable or an MVP or a prototype. And the easiest way to do it is to essentially prompt it, and the better your prompts are, the more detailed your prompts are, the better the output it generates. That's generally been the case with LLMs, any LLM for that matter. Right now, some LLMs have gotten better, but over and all, it's a best practice. If you want the best results, give the best amount of context and information to the LLM itself. Now here within Cursor you have the agent section, and the model is essentially automatically chosen by Cursor directly. I don't have to choose between the list of Claude GPTs and GPT-4. I don't want to deal with all the hassle. Let's say I can go to auto and it will automatically figure out what's the best model for me to get this job done. Now how I start off is I use Whisper essentially to dictate what I want. So let's say the first item of our thing is for it to read this code base, make sense of it, and then I want you to create a new menu bar, a top menu bar, which essentially lists projects, blogs, and who am I as part of the current interface, and create a new path and a new page for projects. And within that project page, I want X and Y to be shown and listed, which is essentially this page, right? So we'll try doing that through prompting. So let's get started. I want to improve my website now. So as part of the headers on the website, we currently have the title which is on the left, which is my name, Shaguna3, and then towards the right I have paths and pages I can redirect to, which are essentially blog and who am I. What I want to do is before the blog section, I want to add a section called projects. Now projects is a new page and a new path within my website, which when a user clicks on the project screen, it brings up a similar menu to how I list the blogs that I have done, their timestamps and so on. But I want the layout to not be a list, but essentially be a list which is in the format of having a little thumbnail icons that I can put, and clicking on one of them takes you to a specific project that I have built. Now that project can be locally hosted and code being part of this website, or it could just redirect to a new page. So I want this capability to exist, and I want the project screen, clicking on the projects menu, take me to a new page listing this one project called Indian Agentic AI Startup Analysis, right? And the page that it refers to or opens when I click on the Indian Agentic AI Startups listing or thumbnail is essentially open this HTML website that I have tagged, and then allow me to display and interact with the same. So I want you to do that, structure this, define a set to-do list and execute on the same, make smaller chunks and pieces of improvements and go from there. Oh my god. Looks like this guy has run out of juice. Let's retry. Hopefully my rant can get processed and we'll get to see something done out of here. Looks like it's still processing. Oh, finally. Okay, I have what I needed. I want you to improve. Who am I? And it's gotten, I've listed the website. What I will also do, just for more context, like I'm doing, I will go to the website and add a screenshot of this header that I was talking about, where I want to list projects essentially here, which on clicking gives a list similar to this, but I don't want it to be a list, but also think of it as like your Windows Explorer or your Mac Finder, right, where you can create show items as a list or icons, and I want it as icons this time around, so that it's more referenceable for users. So I've added the image, I've added and referenced the thing, enable computer use, that's also fine, and let's see how it does. Now while that is running, we can keep looking at what sort of things it does. Considering the modification is thought, I'll scan the code base. Okay, rendered. So it's figuring out where the navigation menu is rendered out of and planning its moves. Let's see what it does next. Now that's the interesting bit about the improvements and this agentic AI. I can just give this prompt and let it run for a while. I've given it enough permissions where I think for creating new files and folders, it will probably ask me for permissions. But even if, let's say, I allow all of that to happen and it to create things, the good thing with cursor is it's not applied by default, and I have to undo everywhere it made changes before I apply those changes live or essentially make them part of my code base. I can still preview them as if they have been edited or updated. That's the good thing I like, and I can see those edits similar to how I can look at get the diffs from users. So it's reading certain pages on the website layout. It's figuring out what to do next. It's thought for some time. The model made no changes to the file. Okay, let's look at the to-dos. Add projects menu. Okay, create project list layout template with thumbnail grid. Add project section. Thinking, yeah, hook thumbnails and ensure external UI is perfect. Yeah, I think that's all. That's the thing I wanted to do. Looks like it's updating some index file. It's going to the engine agent. It didn't need to do that. Let's see. Interesting what it's trying to do. It made some changes here as well. What did it do? Wait. It's looking a little fishy. It added something new for the list.html. Let's right sidebar. Let's just minimize a little bit and see. Blah blah blah. I think this is the thumbnail template that we're looking for. It found 4 errors in 2 files. Let's see what it found. Oh my god, it keeps moving. Okay, it found some errors here. It's reading back the index file. Things I've built and tinkered with. Okay, so it's essentially defining the page to do something for me. And it's adding more content. While that gets done, it's reading the file again and finding out what needs to change or be added. It's reading things I've built, click a card to open. Okay, hopefully it's the HTML changes it made earlier. I think this one essentially do and reference that same section and get the job done. Still finding more errors. It's probably trying to solve for those issues, but for the most part 3 out of the 4 to dos are done. I've added a new project, so I think it's done now. I've added a new project section. Let's see. Okay, you can keep typing. I think it's done. I heard the chime. It added a new project section before blog in config.toml. Yes, that's how I would do it as well. Created blah blah blah, added a thumbnail, updated it used some cover image. Okay, that's fine. And the URL references to the HTML page and how to use, add more projects. Yes. Okay, perfect. Simpler code review. Open an agent window. Let's see what this is new to me. uh, it's loading the changes. How will it load? Wait, it opened. Let me toggle browser. Oh, can I close terminal? I want to look at the agent browser, but I don't think it will be at localhost colon. Am I running the server? No, right? So let's console toggle. Where's the terminal? These are the files. Toggle terminal. Perfect. Less Hugo server dash t. This will run invalid toml parsing. Mm, what page is this? Content projects. Okay, let's give it back to this guy. Let's close this. Let's go back to our chat. uh, let's go to this chat. I've put the image. Getting the following error when trying to run the Hugo server locally. Can you help me fix it? So yeah, I didn't have to type a single word. All I did is just prompt it with a dictation tool using Whisper, and it did the job for me. While that's getting done, invalid toggle delimiter, it figured out. It made a change. I don't think that's the format. Let's see. If I go to any of my other blog pages, it starts with this, not a plus. So maybe let me just try making that change. I don't know. So let's okay. Let's see. I don't want to keep the changes right now. I still want to test it. I will open the terminal here. Not this. Here's my terminal. 20, 20, 20, 20. Where did it go? Terminal. Yeah. Google server. I'm getting the same error. No, I think this is a different error this time. Mm, uh, YAML, something to do with the YAML formatting. Okay, that's not ideal. Let's skip this. Getting this error now. And let's see what it does. Okay, maybe it was because of the change I made. Okay, please run Hugo serve. Let's run it. Clear Hugo serve. Please serve me. Invalid toggle delimiter. Let's just get rid of the sidebar for now. Oh my god, still the same error. Yeah, because I don't think check the error now. Mm, the font matter delimiter doesn't fix any white space. Okay, yeah, I think this is not the right format for us to use. Okay, still figuring it out, reading the pages, making the changes. This is the bit that takes longer, and it would have, if you were an expert, let's say in Hugo or building these static sites, you would know. And I think for the most part, I did try out with what I felt was right, given this has been the structure generally speaking. And if I look at title, description, type, alias, mm, it's a different format if you see here. Looks like it's done. Let's run Hugo serve. Yeah, it is giving me the same error. So let me try doing this and giving it a reference of another blog page and see how it does. The attached image is a reference to one of the blog pages that I have written, and the structure at the heading that it used. Should we use something similar and in order to render, because Every time I run the Hugo serve command, I get invalid toml delimiter error. Let's see what it does. Let me zoom in and we'll clear this out for now. And we'll run Hugo serve once it is done. Let's see what it is thinking. I need to, yeah, Hugo server specific. Our content shows, but error indicates the issue. Need to, okay, I'm converting both project from toml to YAML. Yes, I think you need to do that. But the config is .toml if I'm not wrong. If I come back here and you go to netlify.toml, but this is netlify, even config is .toml. Does it use the plus plus sign like yeah, it has nothing of that sort, at least in the config.toml. So let's see what it is trying to do. Okay, looking better, but yeah, let's see if this time, third time or fourth time looking at this point, if it works out. It changed a few things, changed the structure based on the image I shared. Title, yeah, perfect. Now it's prompting me to run Hugo serve. So let's do a Hugo serve, please. Yes, yeah, it ran it successfully. So now this is at localhost 1313. We'll go there. I have a project section. I have projects, things I have built and tinkered with. I click on this, it opens up the dashboard. Perfect. This is the Indian Agentic AI startup landscape. It has reviewed 108 startups, listed them out. Does everything work? Yes. Score has sort, industry has sort. I don't see the articles listed. Let's see if the analyze button works. I think it should for the most part. AI analysis, origamis.ai. I have not really looked at origamis. Yeah, it's giving a 403. Let's see, let's try to fix this as well. The tier maker is fine, but I think the first thing we'll do is probably fix this CSS or layout issue, and we'll again prompt and repeat and prompt and repeat. That's how it goes generally with vibe coding in most parts, and giving it more context. So I've pasted the image now, and what we'll do is prompt it again. So I think I am now able to run this. Sorry. Uh, let's prompt it. I'm now able to run the app locally and also look at the projects page. I have attached a screenshot of the project section, and the layout, and the layout looks a little odd and wrong to me. Can you help me fix this and create a uh, co- more user friendly layout, and how the items are arranged? Make changes to the CSS if required, and think of this as like the Mac version, using a icon based viewing, because currently it is viewing, but the description or the overview should also probably fit in the same window or the similar size below the thumbnail or above the thumbnail, anything of that sort. That's how I'm thinking of working about it. And maybe for reference, you can think about it as like the YouTube thumbnails that we have on YouTube, and how YouTube shows videos with thumbnails and the title below. So maybe we could do something similar where the thumbnail or the image is at the top, the title, which was Indian Agenting AI Startup Dashboard, and then a small description, and which is not really like YouTube but similar. So yeah, take that as context, and build the same for me and improve the layout and view of this page. Of layout and view of this page, I meant. Now I'm not really reading through the whole thing. I generally do and make sure everything that I prompted to is correct. There can be typos sometime, or the way I pronounce might be a little different for it to make sense. For example, Indian agenting, I meant Indian agentic. So there are obviously some you ideally want to read through this, but if you don't want to, that's completely fine as well. So I've given it the prompt now. It's planning the next steps, as you can see, and next moves, modifying project layout. It's trying to alter the CSS and reading the CSS pages and the definition I've done right now, and it will potentially improve it for me. Da-da-da-da. Let me bring back some music meanwhile. Looks like it has made some changes already and it's probably done. It's prompting me to serve. But let's look at quickly what did it change. It got rid of the whole website. Wait, that might not be right. Now, as you can see, not really committed all the file pages that is done. I will only do it once I'm satisfied with it. And the good part, as I mentioned with cursor, is I can keep the context probably for some point of time and not apply it, and even I can still, as we were looking at VR preview, able to preview. Oh, this looks good. Projects, things I've built and tinkered with. Click a card to open. Perfect. I think this looks good. Interactive dashboard exploring Indian agentic AI startups with filters, charts, and AI powered analysis. Perfect. Now I don't really understand why there are two projects here. So let's just tell it to get rid of it. Uh, and we this should be a simple enough change. I see two projects listed when I'm on the project page. Can you just reduce it to just a single entry for me? And yeah, remove the duplicates of the project listing, or the project title being available. While that is being pasted, it auto pastes wherever the text, wherever the text input is, so it automatically pastes it there. You can also make it such that it copies to your clipboard and then you paste it, but I think this is, I make sure I'm only dictating where I am on the text input box where I want the output to come out to be. And I have prompted, given it the image showcasing that double project listing or title being listed, and we'll see. Planning next moves. Now I think, as you can see, I've still not committed anything. I'll probably do it once after this one is done and fixed. uh, and oh, it's already done. I just refreshed it. Now I have blog, I have projects, I have who am I will add few more. I think we'll do that. But I think I am good for now. It's going here. It's going to agentic AI startups.html. I am able to look at, have the LinkedIn articles also now. Uh, Now let's try to fix this AI analysis before I commit the changes and push them live. Let's see. Analysis. I'm guessing this is probably related to some API mappings that were done when I downloaded the code from Gemini directly locally. As you can see in the following image attached, whenever I add the Indian Agentic AI startup dashboard and looking at startups, whenever I click on the AI analysis button, it runs for a few seconds and then errors out, giving me a 403 error. Do you know why that is? Can you please help me debug and fix that? Let me know if I need to execute any steps for you. So I have given this prompt, which is more than enough context because we also have the image attached that we have given it of the error happening, and let's see how it solves for it. So I'll go back and as you can see, could not retrieve analysis. I think maybe what we can do meanwhile is also try to figure out on our own. Let's just copy this part, look at the HTML file. I will probably close this for now and minimize it a little bit. So yeah, this is the error. So as you can see, it's calling generative language Google APIs model 2.5 Flash and using that to generate a score, which I think probably because I don't know if it requires a token for me to add, and because I've done similar projects where a Gemini API token was required for me to be generated and provided. I think I've done that for my project under what was it, patent pilot. And what I've done here is essentially as part of patent pilot, what you can do is it helps you file patents within the Indian Patent Office as well as and gives you steps on how to file patents in other regions as well. For example, USPTO or EUPTO or JPTO and things like that. But what you can do is essentially give it an invention. It analyzes the invention and figures out if it is patentable or not, and then gives you that analysis. I think what I will probably do is add some more screenshots of how that patent report looks like. But this analysis is done through Gemini 2.5 Flash and how I got it to work. But we'll look at this in one of our future live streams, even working on this using Cursor. So everything here is actually built using V0 and Cursor for me. But let's come back. I think we are done here, and looks like it is asking me to provide a key. New button below page nav, set Gemini. What did it do? Let's say for you to provide your Gemini key and improved error handling. The 403 become because the request lack valid API key or the key has restrictions. Okay, what changed in the dashboard? New button below the page nav, set Gemini API key. Okay, that's good because I don't have to pay in that case. Let's come back. Let's come back to our local thing. Let's go to Indian Agentic AI startup, and I can set my Gemini API key and paste it here. Once I paste it, I think the AI analysis will start working, which is fabulous. Now, as you can see, I didn't really ask it to do that. It figured out what's the best way forward because I would have just let pasted my key in some .n file and hosted it live and had to bear the bill of the number of API calls and queries that are being generated. But instead, I can let the user provide the API key and solve for it, and which is great. A selected industry to analyze. Click on the button to generate analysis of key trends. What? Select an industry. Where do I select it? Let's do this. Analyze. What does it do? Okay, so it probably did something else. I am interested now to try it out what it added support for. And tier maker as well. So if you want, you can also rank your own startups and all the startups that we figured out, all the 108 based on your. I have done previous live streams that you can reference and watch under the roasting agentic AI startups vlog and as well as the YouTube series that I did. And one of those videos is here where we go through this dashboard, look at that information and review the startups and go from there. But for now, I think we are good. Now, what I'll do, this is the live website. This is the local one running. I am pretty satisfied with what it's gotten. I think what we'll do is probably change this thumbnail, right? So let's tell it. I don't know where did it go, or maybe I'm fine with it for now. So what we'll do is call this a day for now, and just make these changes live one last time. So keep all because we're good with that. Bring back my sidebar and go to commit, make it, and even the commit is prompted in this case because it analyzes all the commit changes I made, gives me a solid commit message to use, and I can commit all of my changes. Now it won't do. Okay, it did. Mhm. Commit, and I can now push it. Some changes to sitemap, which makes sense. Okay, push to origin master. Yeah, I think it also made changes on this guy's repo, which I'm not sure will actually work out because I have a sub module that I'm referencing. Um, oh, sorry. I think you are mentioning a voice issue. I mean, one of the things is I actually have a bad throat right now, so that might be an issue as well. But I'll probably invest in a better mic. I've noticed that as well. So thanks for that feedback. But I think we've made the changes live. I am still not confident because I am referencing a sub-module repository here. But and changes cannot because I'm not the owner of that repository. So there might be some issue with that. So we'll have to look at that. Let's see how did it actually deploy on my actual website. I can just refresh this and see for the most part, or I can go to my GitHub repository, which is public by the way. And if you feel like committing or providing some, I think Hacktoberfest is live as well, so you can probably work on. If you find any issues, you can submit a pull request and get through your Hacktoberfest. Now, let me also add, while I'm talking about it, at the top, add the thing here, Hacktoberfest as a label, so you can actually search for that and make the changes. Looks like the commit did go through, the successfully deployed. uh, let's refresh. Okay, I have my project screen. uh, okay, CSS looking fine. Yeah, okay, this is also looking good. The disadvantage with the tier maker today is it does not really, there's no backend for this, right? So it's essentially an HTML page rendering whatever you do. So I can tier and rank my startups here within this. I think my original one was yellow, was somewhere here, Servum and Squad Stack were at the top. But if I refresh, let's say, this thing goes away, which is fine because it's like a one-time thing that you're doing. So we'll live with that, and the dashboard is now live. You can provide a Gemini API key for now, and also perform additional analysis of these startups. You can visit them through these reference links that I've provided and a short overview that I told Gemini to build for me. So this is the first of our many projects that we have hosted. There are other projects that I've done but not really hosted, but this series of live streams and agentic AI startups review that we've done basically led to that. So I think this is valid, done, and live. We are also looking good on the layout of things, even though I was a little skeptical on the changes it made. But given we have not really committed here, most of our changes are here. I think we are good. So that's all for today, and we'll see you guys probably tomorrow or sometime. Yeah, probably tomorrow or the weekend. But yeah, thank you for watching and staying along. Thanks Anjish Sharma for the feedback. So I'll probably invest in, you might see a better mic quality in the next stream. But yeah, thank you, bye, take care.